happy Monday. Welcome back. I'm Sophie, also known as the Saggy Mom. And today, thank you guys for voting and helping me on my Instagram to bring you a teething video today. So, teething, so much fun. Am I right? I don't know what it is. I feel like with breastfed babies, they just teeth sooner. And I don't know if that's a thing or not, but I remember my firstborn started teething 2 months and I was like, isn't this like really early? But he got the super rosy cheeks, drooling all over, and he wasn't trying to suck on anything like pacifier my knuckle. He was biting, and sure enough, it was teething. It had started. Now, what's interesting about my second son is I feel like he's been teething since they cut him out of me. I remember waking up from anesthesia and my fiance handed him to me and I knew like to feed him, but like in a daze, I'm like, I saw it. I saw like a little like white nodule like on his gum line, and I was like, is that a tooth? And I was like, don't freak out. Like, you just woke up. I was in excruciating pain this one. So I was like, I'm just like imagining it. But when I took him to his like first appointment his first appointment once we got discharged from the hospital, I was like, is this a tooth? And they're like, yeah, maybe. And I was just like, oh God. So he's been teething, I feel like, since day one. But it looks like that little nodule has since gone away. He's now 6 months old. So I feel like really he's been teething since he came out. Been biting down on me really hard and just screaming in pain. And once I gave him some like teething remedies, that's when I would see him like kind of soothe. Weird though, 6 months now and still no tooth that has broken through, but like I see underneath his gums, like I see the bottom and I see the top, and I just wonder if he's gonna be similar to my niece and like break all of these teeth like all at once, just like one after another, which is so much fun. So I want to share with you some things that are like really helpful, at least to me, what have been helpful to me. So I know what kind of hard is you see your baby in pain, you don't want them to be in pain, you just want to make it better, right? So what I think the first step to go is don't try and give them anything. Try to play with your baby. I know that seems kind of like weird, but it's like distracting them from like what's going on. And if you can keep your little one entertained, that can kind of go a long way. So I recommend carrying your little one, if not baby wearing even, and just taking them for like little strolls, not even like out and about. I'm just like talking about in your house. Like, don't feel like you have to make this like huge effort to like distract your little one. You could like baby wear and like just do your dishes, and like they'll be like, oh, what, you know, it's just something that is taking their like mind off of this, right? So my little guy loves to walk around the house, explore upstairs, downstairs, back into the kitchen, loves to look at himself in the mirror. So things like that have been like really helpful. Now that he's kind of gotten, I guess, used to the pain in a sense. I don't torture my babies, but I'm just saying like it's been easier for him to cope with it, if that makes sense. So I would strongly suggest just trying to distract your baby, play with them, walk them around. If you feel up to it, if you have the time, put them in the stroller or just go around the neighborhood. I mean, just up and down the block, something. It's gonna give you a peace of mind, and it's gonna help your little one just stay distracted until you're like, okay, let's try something else. So another thing that's really helpful that is not like medication per se, you guys I'm sure have seen like all the teething toys, but like one of the ones that are my favorite is like these gel filled ones. And these are great because they can go in the freezer, and when they're nice and cold, they like can soothe the gums, and just that cold on it for the babies is just so helpful, and you can see like instant relief. So these ones are great, and I was just looking up more on teething. It's better to get something that has something that they can like stick a little farther in their mouth, because the circle type ones, even like this on the end, isn't great because they can't reach their back teeth. Like this is pretty big, and my little 6-month-old mouth, it's not gonna fit, right? But something like this finger here, this can go in a little farther back and reach like the gum lines. So I would say if you're going to look at I would say if you're going to look at teething like toys and like things of this nature, try to get something that can reach the back gums, and I will do my best and link some of that into the description of this video for you. Aside from this little guy, I can't remember the name of the teething gel, but I will link that again. This one came with like a teething gel, and you can just apply it right here, and this is like perfect to like fit in the gums there. You see how it's kind of like rigid and like just kind of fits right there on the gum line. My little guy, just without the teething gel alone, he loves just to like chew on this, and it just like, oh my god, he like grabs my hand even and like wants to chew on it even more. So this has been really great. I love the ridges on it. It gives them like a little massage right there on their gums, and it's like really, really helpful. So these two have been the favorite so far. Also, I don't know if this is another like breastfeeding baby thing, but both of my boys, pacifier, could care less about it. They've never been interested in a pacifier, so I've always been a pacifier. But I noticed both boys in the teething stages, the pacifier actually really came in handy. I was gonna bring one up, but I think they've all rolled under the couch since, so I'll try to link it again. But it's a pacifier that doesn't have like a backing on it. Like the pacifier itself is like hollow inside, so it's perfect to either like freeze some water in there and get it to where they can chew on it, or I just like use my pinky and like put it in their mouth, and they can kind of gnaw on my pinky, but it's like covered by the pacifier, so that's really helpful. Those are some of the ways like you can help them without medicine. Another one obvious is like a teething ring. So these ones have like a few different like textures. This is Nuby. And this has a few different textures on there for them to kind of just try out on their gums, and it kind of keeps them entertained. It's colorful. So this is another one that's been really helpful. Aside from that, you know, I bought this thinking it would be like really great, but it's really not that great. So this one actually like goes on the wrist, and it like rattles, and it has like a little silicone thing to like teeth on. It's more of like a noise distraction to keep them entertained, which isn't bad, but not necessarily for them to like, you know, chew on or anything. So this didn't really help for the teething department. It helped more of like distraction. Okay. These guys here I kind of like a lot because these just came on his like his walker jumper, like the 3-in-1 thing I got, and they are pretty like hard plastic, but again, they have like these little grooves on them, and he's been really into these. He'll really like go to town on these, and they seem to help him a lot when he's in pain. This one, I don't know if you guys have seen this, there's been like silicone ones. This is like kind of like a fabric one, and these guys open up, right? And you could stick some like, you could either do like whole fruit or like, you know, purees to like feed them. But what's also great is to either grab an ice cube and put them in here. That way it could soothe baby. But another one that's also really helpful is you can make like breast milk popsicles, like pop them in an ice tray, you know, put some breast milk in an ice tray, let them freeze, pull them out and just stick one in there, or like a half of one in there. If not, I'm sure you could also do that with like formula, and that just like gives the baby like a little snack and also distracts them from pain while they are getting some icy coolness on their gums. So that's another one that I think is like really helpful, and I've been using a lot more. So those are kind of like my go-tos before pulling out some like medicine for baby. And you have to be careful. I know one was, what is it? Oh, God, we use it when adults have their own, Oragel, right? Oragel was one. And this, I was already doing research before when I had my first son, and I saw that some babies who used Oragel on their gum line would immediately like just have these horrible symptoms. And I'm talking about like babies like not breathing anymore, like babies turning blue, like it was crazy. And I think it was because I want to say the ingredients were either belladonna and or benzocaine. So these are natural remedies that I like to go with. And this one here is Dr. Talbots. It's the soothing tablets with chamomile. So it's natural ingredients. I couldn't find any on my latest teething run. So here is an empty one. I use these ones with Jojo all the time, and they would work pretty instantly. So I'd give it to him, and within a few minutes, he would doze off. And it says that on the label, like, don't be alarmed if your baby dozes off, because it gives him chamomile. It gives him something to just like let them relax and like let them take a nap. And this is like, you know, it's great when your little one is just has had it and they're crying and they're miserable, you know, and you just want to give them a little break and like something that helps them. This is perfect. And this is for 3 months plus. So with Jojo, these were great. They would dissolve instantly. And I don't know if they've since changed like the recipe for this, because with Benny, I would give it to him, but he had a really hard time dissolving them. So I think they were a little bit harder to dissolve this time around. So you could use it, you know, with maybe some drops of like breast milk to help your baby. Sometimes I just grab Benny's cheeks and I like squeeze him, and that like helps him like know to like chew. That's what's worked. But also, if you are using this. Yes, Joe. I don't know if you heard, but Mommy, what are you doing? Anyways, with this, so to help it come along and dissolve in your baby's mouth. So like I said, these were a little harder for Benny, but what's great is I would use these Camellia. These are actually like drops, right? So this one is what, 3 months plus to use, the chamomile tablets. These are actually, I believe, babies 1 month and up. So these are great. It's natural active ingredients, teething relief. It has been really awesome to use. So it's a liquid. So if, you know, something like the teething tablet was a little bit harder to dissolve on the gums, I would use it along with this. So it was kind of giving like a double dose of teething relief, but also helping to dissolve the other teething tablets. And you have to use your own discretion. I was able to double up, and it helped my little one. It might be too much for yours or not enough. So keep that in mind. These are great though, and it's perfect that you can use on a baby so young, because like I said, my second has been teething from the beginning. Another one that I really like are Highlands. It's the oral pain relief. So this is another type of teething tablet. They have, you know, a daytime and a nighttime, but I feel like for me, I use a nighttime one because if it's gonna help my little one rest and just get relief, I'm okay with using like nighttime. And these ones here is 0 months plus. So if you need a tablet that's gonna work for your little one and you can use it from the very beginning, I highly recommend these. And I just buy both because sometimes one is like candy to my baby, and sometimes the other one is like just perfect. It's just what they needed. So these are the natural ones that are like really my go-tos. I really, really like these. So these have been like my favorite with my second born. The other thing that I have used maybe just a handful of times, I want to say like 3 or 4 times, Tylenol. When all else fails, your baby is hurting, you know, the other medication has, you know, had its window of like being worn off, like Tylenol. And it's not, I'm not against like using Tylenol, but obviously I want to like try other remedies before I just give them, you know, some medication. So for me, if it's going to help my little guy, he's miserable, he's flipping out, I know Tylenol is going to take a few minutes before it has any effect on him, but for my peace of mind, for my little guy to be able to rest and just get some relief, I'm cool with Tylenol. But like I said, I use it very, very sparingly. I think the last time I used it was a couple weeks ago because he felt a little warm and he was reading as like a 99 or 100 like fever, and that was it. His fever disappeared after I gave him some like golden milk. I don't know if it was teething related, but it could have been. That's another thing. You know, for me, I have noticed that my little ones will get, you know, those super rosy cheeks, they'll drool, and then a fever will happen, and sometimes even an ear infection from teething. And it's really hard because I know some pediatricians are like, no, not teething related, but it's like every other symptom is because of like teething. So sometimes that can happen. But yeah, I have been lucky so far. Benny hasn't had any ear infections. So far so good. As far as like other teething remedies, I don't really know because I haven't really used it from experiment. I don't really know because I haven't used it from my own experience. I think with Jojo, I can't remember like the essential oil, but I think there was an essential oil, is it clove maybe? I could be wrong, that you put on the gums. He was like, no, not having it. Like he was just like, that like pissed him off even more that I put that like flavor in his mouth. He was not happy with it. I have not tried that with Benny just because these remedies that I showed you have been working for him. I do know some parents really like the amber, I believe it's called teething necklaces. I don't have any experience with it, but there are some like safety things to remember with that. And I know you have to do your own research to become educated. Obviously to not put anything around their neck when they're sleeping. There have been a lot of accidents from that, unfortunately, and you know, babies have passed away because they unfortunately strangled themselves during their sleep. So that's just something I don't even want to chance, you know, while they're awake. So scary things like that. But I have stayed away from the necklaces. I haven't had a run-in with like benzocaine or belladonna, just because I haven't had any need for it. Hi, baby. Go outside. Out. Go. It's another one of my children. So yeah, I think out of all of these, that's really been my go-to. That's what's been really helpful for me. I hope some of this can help you, and I am looking forward to creating more content. I think what I have coming up next is a little discussion on nursing bras that I use. But again, if there's anything that you'd like to see from me, please let me know. I would love to see you on my Instagram. I am way more social there daily. Looks like Mondays are my days to upload videos. And please like and subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks.